What if one personal rule could stop you from getting roles in the entertainment industry? That is exactly what some people thought could happen to Nigerian actor Clinton Joshua. For years, Clinton has appeared in movies released primarily on YouTube, but there is one thing he has refused to do consistently on his movies: kissing scenes. And because of that, some people have said that he wouldn't go far in his acting career. Well, fast forward to today, that same actor is trying to make his cinema debut in a major Nollywood movie. So, did Clinton prove his critics wrong? Let's talk about it. First, if you're watching from outside Nigeria and you're wondering who exactly is Clinton Joshua, let me explain. Clinton is a Nigerian actor who has built a significant part of his career through movies released on YouTube. And that's important because YouTube has become a major platform for Nigerian filmmakers and actors. Instead of waiting for a traditional movie studio to give you your big break, filmmakers can create movies, release it online, and reach millions of viewers. That is the word Clinton has been working on. So this isn't a story of somebody randomly becoming an actor overnight. He is already an actor. What is changing now is the size of the stage. And here is where the story gets interesting. Clinton has made it clear that he doesn't do kissing scenes. Now, whether you agree with that decision or not, that is his personal boundaries. But in an industry where romantic scenes are common, some people question whether that boundary will eventually become a problem. And the argument was basically, how far can you go as an actor if there are certain roles that you cannot accept? And that was a fair question, because acting sometimes requires people to step outside their comfort zone. But there is another side to it. Does being a professional actor mean you have to accept every type of scene, or can an actor have boundaries and still build a successful career? That's where Clinton's story becomes interesting. Because despite all the doubts, Clinton kept acting, he kept appearing in movies, he kept building his audience. And now comes the announcement that has people talking. Clinton Joshua is set to make his cinema debut in 5 figurines. And when you look at the cast, this isn't exactly a small production. The movie features established Nigerian actors, including Iniedo, Uche Montana, Bimbo Makintola, and Odunlade Adekola, alongside other talented actors. And now Clinton gets to share their screen. Not bad for someone people thought wouldn't go very far. But here is what I find more interesting than the cinema debut itself. Clinton didn't change his boundary because people were questioning his future. He continued working within the boundary he was comfortable with. And eventually another opportunity came. That is a lesson to learn, not just for actors, but for everybody who's trying to build a career. Sometimes people will tell you, if you don't do this, you won't succeed. If you don't behave like every other person, you will not make it. If you don't compromise on this, you will be left behind. And sometimes they are wrong. That doesn't mean that every boundary will lead to success, but it does mean that you shouldn't automatically assume that success requires you to abandon all the principles you have. Now, let's not turn this into a Clinton has defeated everybody story, because making your cinema debut is an opportunity. It doesn't automatically mean you have reached the top of the acting industry. This movie still has to come out, people still have to watch it, and Clinton still has to show that he can deliver on a bigger platform. That's what makes this very exciting, because now we are going to get a better idea of what he can do beyond the YouTube movies many people know him from. And this is where I think people outside Nigeria can relate to the story too, because the entertainment industry is changing everywhere. Actors and filmmakers can build audiences on YouTube, TikTok, Instagrams, and other platforms before traditional studios ever notice them. A person can start with a phone, small production, and an online audience, and eventually find themselves on a much bigger stage. We have seen this kind of transition happen in different forms around the world. And Clinton's journey is another example of how digital platforms can create opportunities that never existed in the same way before. And I can only imagine the people who said this guy won't go far because he doesn't kiss in movies. Seeing the announcement now, they might be somewhere quietly refreshing the page and be like, wait, did I read that correctly? Meanwhile, Clinton is probably just focused on the next job, because honestly, sometimes the best way to answer criticism is not with an argument. It's with results. You don't need to spend 5 years explaining your potentials. Sometimes you just keep working and let the next opportunity speak. Now let's talk about the movie itself. It's called Five Figurines. It's produced and directed by Aka Marcin. The cast itself is already attracting attention, but the title itself got me curious. Five Figurines. Why five? What's the significance and what exactly happens in the story? Because I'm not going to lie, the title sounds innocent enough, but knowing movies, those five figurines are probably going to cause somebody serious problem. You know how these things work. Somebody touches one mysterious object and suddenly everybody's life is upside down. According to the announcement we are discussing, the movie is scheduled to arrive cinemas on November 13th. And for Clinton, that means something very simple but significant. People who have watched him on their phones and their televisions will now have the opportunity to see him on the big screen. It's a milestone. And whether you are already a Clinton Joshua's fan already or you're hearing his name for the first time, this is definitely a moment worth watching. So now I want to hear from you. Forget the hype for a moment. Do you think an actor should be able to set personal boundaries and still succeed in the entertainment industry? And more importantly, do you think Clinton Joshua has proved the people who doubted him wrong? I want to hear your honest opinion. If you agree, tell me why. If you disagree, tell me why. And if you have been following Clinton from his YouTube movie days, drop "I knew he would go far." Let's see how many people actually believe in him from the beginning. And if you are new here, subscribe to Chulax TV because we are going to be following this story and plenty entertainment stories both from Nigeria and beyond. Until next time, don't underestimate people just because you do not understand their journey.